Hello, I'm Caleb DeLon of BecomeThoroughlyEquipped.com, and this is my persuasive speech. Never before has our society been plagued by as many health-related issues as we are today. Obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. Yet never before have there been as many books on nutrition, exercise programs, and diets. What's going on? We've all heard of the various causes of these harmful health hijackers, but perhaps the main problem isn't too little exercise or too much junk food. Perhaps the main problem is wheat. Now, I know that sounds strange, but don't circle for them below just yet. Listen for the next few minutes and then make up your mind, okay? Great. I'd like to look at three main areas: wheat's essence, wheat's effects, and wheat's elimination. Let's jump right in and get started with wheat's essence. The wheat you eat is not the same wheat your grandmother used when she baked that delicious loaf of bread or those scrumptious rolls. According to Dr. William Davis, the wheat of today is the product of breeding to generate greater yield and characteristics such as disease resistance. In fact, wheat has been modified by humans to such a degree that modern strains are unable to survive in the wild without human support. But here's the really big issue. When wheat was being genetically modified, no one bothered to conduct any human or animal safety testing. We'll see over the next few minutes that they really should have bothered. Here's something even more unbelievable, but absolutely true. Wheat is addictive. And I'm not talking about addiction in the "I'm addicted to Facebook" sense, but the "I'm addicted to heroin" sense. Wheat contains a special type of polypeptides. Now, I don't completely understand what they are either, but that's not the point. These particles have the ability to penetrate the barrier that separates the bloodstream from the brain, and bind to your brain's morphine receptor, the very same receptor to which opiate drugs bind. What's the effect? Your appetite increases. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology found that people eating a standard diet consume 400 calories more per day than people on a wheat-free, gluten-free diet. That's 150,000 additional calories each year. Okay, so wheat makes you eat more. So what? Why is that a bad thing? Don't we need to eat 6 to 8 servings a day of grains like wheat? No. Let's see why as we move on to look at wheat's effects. One common effect of wheat consumption is weight gain and obesity. Wheat is high on something called the glycemic index, or GI. You've probably heard of it. This index measures how much certain foods increase blood sugar levels in comparison to pure glucose. It's a scale of 1 to 100, with glucose itself scoring 100, and foods such as salmon and walnuts scoring essentially 0. Grapefruit, 25. Kidney beans, 51. Table sugar, 59. Where do you think whole wheat bread fits in? Whole wheat bread has a GI of 72. That's right, eating a single slice of whole wheat bread will increase your blood sugar more than eating an entire tablespoon of pure sugar. In contrast, a Snickers bar has a far superior GI of only 41. So wheat consumption dramatically increases blood sugar levels. This in turn causes your body to produce high levels of insulin, a hormone that takes the excess sugar and stores it as, you guessed it, fat. Now, the average American consumes about 133 pounds of wheat per year. If your only source of wheat were bread, 133 pounds would equate to 200 loaves per year. You probably eat wheat in some form at a minimum of 2 to 3 times per day. That shoots your blood sugar levels up extremely high, almost permanently, causing fat accumulation. Over time, this cycle can lead to obesity. Speaking of insulin, the sugar-to-fat hormone, the Mayo Clinic states that when your insulin levels and blood sugar levels stay high or cycle up and down rapidly, your body has trouble responding, and this can contribute to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is associated with a host of health problems, including type 2 diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, stroke, and heart disease. Increased appetite, obesity, diabetes, heart disease? Perhaps it's time for our society to reconsider its habit of eating so much wheat. But if you don't eat wheat, what on earth is there left to eat? Let's see as we move on to my final point, wheat's elimination. Now, the first thing you need to know about removing wheat from your diet is that there's no possible nutrient deficiency that could result. The Livestrong Foundation reassures us that wheat is not essential to human nutrition. What's the best method of removing wheat from your diet? Well, it's possible to slowly taper your wheat consumption, but for many people this approach would be like slowly decreasing alcohol consumption or number of cigarettes smoked. They just won't work. The other method is to go cold turkey. Jettison all wheat in one fell swoop. About 30% of people who cease eating wheat will experience wheat withdrawal, somewhat similar to nicotine withdrawal. Irritability, mental fog, fatigue. Thankfully, in the vast majority of cases, these symptoms last a week or less. Then you're free. Now, here many people raise the Israelites' complaint. What good is it being free if you starve to death? What can you eat? Replacing wheat in your diet is actually not as hard as you might imagine. Remember that people on a wheat-free diet consume 400 calories fewer per day. That's a much smaller gap to fill. Of the two main methods of replacing wheat, the first is to eliminate wheat and increase all other foods. While not perfect, this diet is still incredibly healthier. The second, and somewhat more radical option, is to make a conscious effort to substitute real food in wheat's place. The Paulette Fund's Glossary of Nutritional Terms defines real foods as those that nature gives us: plants, roots, fruits, nuts, seeds, meats, eggs, milk, and those made from them. On a wheat-free diet, you can eat unlimited amounts of real food. You can also consume limited quantities of dairy products, legumes, soy products, and gluten-free grains such as rice, quinoa, oats, and millet. Hundreds of wheat-free cookbooks exist, and the internet contains thousands of recipes. When you choose to cease eating wheat, a veritable smorgasbord of palate-pleasing, real food awaits you. My dad always wanted to lose about 15 pounds. After eliminating wheat, he dropped 15 pounds in 30 days. And he's been able to keep them off, even though he sometimes cheats. My mom has less sinus drainage and has lost her need to snack in between meals. I used to take a 24-hour allergy medication every day, along with Benadryl whenever I needed it. Now, I run a lawn care business with no medication whatsoever. Eliminating wheat makes a difference. If you take any kind of medication, have any sort of health issue, or just want to feel better, I'd like to encourage you to take the 30-day wheat-free challenge. Eliminate wheat from your diet, eat more real food, and just see how you feel. For more information and resources for the 30-day wheat-free challenge, you can simply visit my website, calebdelon.com/wheat. Over the past few minutes, we've discovered that wheat is a highly modified, untested, and addictive substance. Its effects range from the seemingly innocuous to the potentially deadly. Our society has replaced real food with wheat, and the rates of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease have never been higher. I believe the solution to these voluminous health issues is eliminating wheat from our diets and replacing it with real food. I'd like to invite you to join me by taking the 30-day wheat-free challenge. No, you won't starve, but you just might experience the incredible benefits that come from living a wheat-free life.